Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, today I covered a piece of news coming from Ukraine, where you had Ukraine and its immediate handlers, that's why the keyword is immediate handlers, Great Britain and France, who issued Russian ultimatum. I made a video on that one earlier today. And the proposal of 30, it's actually like an imposed 30-day ceasefire to the Russians. I said, if you don't do this, we're not going to talk about it because we are winning and the winner, imposes the terms of any negotiations, right? They're not winning, but obviously this is an inversion of reality. And we have here Medvedev's answer to these countries, the free countries, who, they promote a certain kind of ideology. They are all pro-homosexuality, transgender and all that. And what I have here, some meow meow hair. And Medvedev give these guys his answer regarding the 30-day ceasefire. I discussed the 30-day ceasefire in the previous video today. Go and watch it. So right now I'm focused on what Mr. Medvedev's answer is to that. And here it is. DPA International, May 10th, 2025. And it's very funny answer, mind you. Moscow rejects Kiev's peace plan as Medvedev launches crude attack. The Kiev peace plan is this. You do what we tell you, and that's our peace plan. But the Kiev is, the guys in the West are winning the war, but they somehow think that they set the terms or impose the terms on the losers. And here is Medvedev. And here is what he said. Now, look at this guy. These guys consider it vulgar terms. Well, if they're truthful, I would rather have the naked vulgar truth than have a beautiful lie. One of Russia's most prominent officials has rejected, in vulgar terms, Ukraine's proposal for a 30-day ceasefire beginning Monday. Dmitry Medvedev, the former president of Russia and the current deputy head of the National Security Council, penned the plan in a post on X, writing in English that its authors could, and this is what he said, shove these peace plans up your pangender arses. Why? They look at them. The ceasefire's proposal was made by Germany's Friedrich Merz. I know he looks like very weird. Germany's Emmanuel Macron, midget, and UK Keir Starmer, he looks like a woman. And Poland's Donald Tusk, he's a weasel, visited Kiev on Saturday for talks with Ukrainian President midget Zelensky. The leaders also warned that sanctions will follow if Russia rejects the plan. That was the new ultimatum, just in right there. Macron, Merz, Starmer, and Tusk were supposed to discuss peace in Kiev. Instead, and I'm quoting Medvedev, instead they are blurting out threats against Russia. Medvedev, who is known for his frequent use of inflammatory language. Is it true? That's all I care. Separately, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Medvedev said before the ultimatum was issued that Russia would not be swayed by sanctions. He argued that any ceasefire must not allow Kiev to reposition its forces and named a halt to Western arms deliveries as a prerequisite for Moscow to consider the 30-day truce. And they offered to meet the Ukrainians next week, this week, right now that follows, in Istanbul, in Turkey. They said, let's meet and discuss. No preconditions. And the other guy says, no. You first 30 days ceasefire and then we talk. Why can't we do it in the same time? Why can't, war and discuss? Nevertheless, so my point here was with Medvedev, who called these guys as, pangender. Why? Well, you like that? You stay over there. The problem is those guys are taking advantage. How should I put it, man? Plainly. You remember Sweden? I'm going to give you the Swedish example. Sweden in the 1970s and early 80s was kind of like a economic miracle in Europe. And The reason why, it was that Sweden had a conservative, if I remember, party, and they had this meritocracy, work hard, and personal responsibility, accountability, and all that. And then, like in any society, this kind of society creates weaklings, future generation. But the future generation of weaklings go older, and they will be the new leaders, and they're weak. And then they think, oh, how about we turn into socialists because we're doing so good, so great. We're doing it because those guys before you use a certain kind of mentality and ideology to create wealth and everything you have. And you were not responsible. You did not work. You were a child. So now you come in power and say, we're doing great. How about we screw everything up? And they screwed everything up after the conservatives were gone with the socialists. With the liberals. And from there, 1990s, the Chilean invasion and other invasions, and now they have that kind of... Go to Malmo, all right? Go over there if you want to Malmo and see how things are. Or Stockholm. Or if you want to Göteborg, go to Göteborg. And figure out how the Swedes are doing, how they go berserk because they don't like something and turn upside down vehicles and burn neighborhoods like they do in Paris, in France. The same guys, the French people all of a sudden becomes berserk, crazy. So these guys are destroying what other people built. The same with this Merz in Germany. He doesn't really destroy anything because Germany was going anyway. His biggest economy in Europe, it is. So Germany, then you got France, then you got Starmer. How are your economies? I would like Poland. Poland is doing very good. That's true. But these guys, the socialists, we screwed up. They will. So the same with the so-called social revolution, with this kind of snipping your things and all that. That's the wrong, I would say, approach to continue a kind of civilization. You would turn it into something else. The problem is, those guys that change it right now, they will die. The future generations will not know better, and they will look at, oh my God, what is this? And then again, those weak times will create strong leaders, right? So strong leaders create this kind of times, and we know that little cycle. So that's with these guys. They're all threatening Russia. They're all huff and puff, and they're going to do this when they can be destroyed just like this. They're really irrelevant. This is the how ridiculous it is. How ridiculous these guys act. They think they're still, Germany think is in the Second World War, let's say 1940. You got the Brits. The Brits still think that they're an empire, and they're not. They're bankrupt, and there's a little fucking island over there. And then you got the French, who still think that they're under Napoleon. Those days are long gone, and you need maybe centuries to come back with that. And with this kind of pan-gender mentality and ideology, you will never go back to that, because none of those three powers that I mentioned, Great Britain at one point, not at one point, a long point, Germany, if you take Bismarck with his Prussians and all that, if you include them, they had a certain mentality, and that it was not pan-gender, if you know what I mean. Right? And if you take the other guys, the French with Napoleon, they had a certain mentality. They didn't get any weakling over there in the Grande Armée. Remember? So that's a mentality. And they are threatening who? The Russians. The Russians are not. Okay? They're not. Therefore, these guys are doomed to fail. They will not even... They know it. All these three guys, Macron, Merz, and Starmer, they know who they have around. They know their potential. They know who they're dealing with, and they know who those guys are. That's why they will never attack them directly. Even as a coalition, they will never attack the Russians directly. Even if you put to the side nuclear weapons and you go conventional war, the spirit is more important than your physical potential. If you want to know that, look into, for instance, into fighting, direct fighting. Spirit is more important. The attitude is more important than your potential. The same. Remember, 1% inspiration and 99% transpiration. That means you have to work hard. You have that little spark, but you have to have those things over there as well. In this case, you have to have, your potential, but without the right spirit, without the attitude, you're not going to do it. I saw many people in life succeeding by being stupid, consistent in what they were doing and try to do until they broke through. And other smart guys with a different attitude, I want to try one time and I failed. More capable, but didn't have balls. Balls get you longer, it seems like, than intelligence. Wasn't, who was that who said this? Assange from WikiLeaks. Didn't he say, I realized that I met a lot of intelligent people, but not enough courageous people or something like this, or courage is more important than intelligence. I got to understand that. Julian Assange, yeah. I agree with that. I figured it out when I was about 18. I said, I watched some people and I read a lot of those times, but it's not about me. The point is, if you don't have the urge, the attitude, that's why these guys think they're going to win in the Middle East. They will not, because those guys, even though they're weak, you know what I mean? The Lebanese, the Palestinians, the Jordanians, not the Iranians, okay? They're weak, but they have something else. They have the spirit. And you can't destroy it that way. I mean, if it's inside of you like that, you can be weak, but with time you will get stronger. So these guys are just destroying the countries, and they say what? They give us an ultimatum. And for good reason, Medvedev called them out. And these guys are the vulgar. I'm sorry, but plain language, direct, clear, with emphasis. It's more important than being, how they call Obama, he's very verbally, how they call him, articulate. He's very articulate, but he doesn't say shit. He's very articulate. He's going to talk to you. You're going to be like Bill Clinton, very articulate, both of them. But nobody's going to say, I'm going to do this, this is what's going to happen, plain. Well, I understand the diplomacy at one point and certain things, but that's not like, what do you want? You want to be lied nicely or be told vulgarly? I mean, according to each person's preference, I guess. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.